Hello and welcome. This video is about the first wave of figures that came out for the Empire Strikes Back line in 1980. And there were 11 new figures, and I pulled 2 of each out of the display so I could show you a couple variants of each one. And in the front we have Bespin, Leia, and Yoda. Behind them we have FX7, the medical droid, Luke and Bespin fatigues, Lando Calrissian. Behind them is the white Bespin security guard, Bosk and IG-88, and in the back row you have Hoth Han Solo, the Hoth Stormtrooper, Hoth Rebel Soldier, and in the back that's the card with the 11 figures on there. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at each figure and the variant there. So we're going to start with Princess Leia in Bespin gown, and this is one of my favorite variants. I have, I don't know, 7 or 8 of these figures. And there are so many different variants on the way the face is painted and the eyes. Even here you can see the example here on the left of the screen has kind of googly eyes and a little bit cross-eyed, and that one they're nice and straight. And so the one on the left, the more tan one, is from the Unitoy factory, and it was made for the US market. In Hong Kong. The one on the right was made for the European market, and it was produced by Palitoy, but it would have been produced in somewhere in Asia. But it was not released in the US. It was released on tri-logo cards in the UK, and I think in maybe in other countries in Europe too. But they call it the Pale Face or Geisha Leia, and it has no country of origin stamp. And so that was a European release. But there are also differences. You can see if you look at her neck, she's got a turtleneck here, and here it's flesh color. And even the gown sometimes has different patterns in that. So a lot of different variants on her. There probably are at least 20 or 30 different face variants for her out there. They're just painted so many different ways, made in a few different factories. They were made in Smile Factory, Cater Factory, Unitoy, and then you had these ones released for Europe that were done differently, and then Lily Leedy made some in Mexico. I don't know if PVP or Meccano made them, but there are a lot of variants on her, so she's a favorite for a lot of collectors. So that's Princess Leia and Bespin gown. And here's another one that's great for variants. He's a real popular one for variant collectors. Luke Skywalker, Bespin fatigues. Right off the bat, you can see the differences in hair color, the paint, the way the eyes are painted. So the one on the left with the brown hair is Lily Leedy, made in Mexico for the Mexican market. The one on the right is a US Kenner release. So get you a shot of the country of origin stamps there. It's the US Kenner. I didn't look up what factory that one is yet. And that's the Lily Leedy with the raised bar. So that would have been caused by, you can see, it's almost the same as the other one, but there's no country of origin. Instead, you see a raised bar under the maiden, and that's because when Lily Leedy got the mold, they would have dug out the Hong Kong part there and just left it blank so that when plastic was injected into the mold, it created that raised bar. This one though, you can see a difference in the darker brown boots or the lighter brown. There's so many variants on him. Again, the way the face is painted, and he's another favorite for collectors because between the hair color, the boot color, the different factories, lots of different variants for Luke and Bespin fatigue. So Kenner also, for the US market, Kenner had the yellow hair and brown hair and a few different shades of yellow hair and brown hair. So it goes on with the variants for him, but he's definitely a favorite. Yoda is another favorite for variant collectors, and you can see just from here how different these two are. The really light green one on the left is a Kenner release for the US. The one on the right is Lily Leedy from Mexico. Leedy, that's their apple green head version. They had some different shades of green, as did Kenner. Kenner had both. You can see the one on the right has Pac-Man shaped eyes. The one on the left, they're round and kind of an orangish paint. There's some with brown paint, some with black paint. There's Pac-Man eyes, there's round eyes, there's different shades of green for the heads, different color snakes. There's orange snakes, there's brown snakes. Some of the brown snakes turn green. There's different colors for the cane. I don't have a cane for the leady one, but lots of different variants for Yoda. There's even one of the cloaks that in the early Kenner release, it has a little tag in it that says HK that tends to sell more than the cloaks that don't have that. So tons of variants for Yoda. I do have a video in my archives of the different Yoda variants you should check out. It's a pretty good video. So that's Yoda. Let's move on. Okay, so Lando Calrissian, another one with a lot of different variants. What we have in front of us here is the one on the left is from the Unitoy factory, made in Hong Kong for the US market. The one on the right is made in Spain by PBP for the Spanish market. Kenner had these made in the Cater factory, the Unitoy factory, Smile factory, Lily Ledy in Mexico made them, PBP in Spain, and PAC in Spain. So all of those different factories have different variants. Just in front of us, you can see the plastic for the legs, a little bit different colors. I don't know if the PBP degraded or if they just used a different color plastic for that, but the PBP one has the whites of the eyes and teeth painted in. The Unitoy one just has black for the eyes and no teeth painted in. Kenner had other ones from the other factories that did have the eyes and teeth painted white. So a lot of different variants for Lando, and that's why he's a favorite for a lot of collectors. And here we have FX7. This was the medical droid, and a lot of different variants on this one too, as far as like the little orange dots on the head and that. There's your country of origin. That I believe is for Smile factory and Unitoy factory. He was also made in Cater, and the head goes up and down. These two, there's a little bit of a difference in the red paint right there on the little dot, but some minor variants with him, mostly on the country of origin stamps. He is a pretty cool figure. Personally, I never understood why they made him. I thought there were probably some other figures that they didn't make from Empire Strikes Back that they could have, but at any rate, here he is. And there's a lot of people that focus on this one too, so check him out. FX7 Medical Droid. And next we have the White Bespin Security Guard. And differences with him include, different shades of face, plastic. You can see the one on the left, which is the Unitoy factory, has a straighter mustache, where the one on the right from the Smile factory has a handlebar mustache. Different shades of blue plastic. The one on the left doesn't have the paint, the gold paint over here. That could have flaked off. Some of them I don't think were painted at all, and some of it kind of came off easy on them. But you can see this one has the paint. And again, the plastics used for the face can vary, but one of the biggest differences with him was that mustache. Also made in the Cater factory, and I believe PAC made some for Spain. So that's the White Bespin Security Guard. So IG-88, another one with a ton of different variants. In front of us here on the left, in the matted, dull, less detailed plastic, that one was made in the Unitoy factory. The one on the right, you can see the much shinier, glossier plastic, better detail. That one was made in the Smile factory, and that one has no country of origin stamp, so it probably was not made in Hong Kong. These were also made by the Cater factory in Hong Kong. They were made in Spain by PBP and PAC, and every factory again made different variants. Some of the bigger differences you'll see is the paint used on the head. Some of them, like the one on the left, a little bit more of an orangish tint to the paint on his head compared to the one on the right, a little bit more red. The country of origin stamps vary a lot, and the types of plastic used change a lot too. He did come with that rifle and Imperial blaster. and they just weren't staying in his hands, so I don't have them with him right now. But that's IG-88, really cool variant. And let's see if we can get a good shot of the COOs here. There we go. And no country of origin on the right. The one on the left, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit better. There we go. And there you can see that one. No country of origin. That one has it. You can see the Hong Kong. So that's IG-88. And Bosk is another favorite with collectors. He was made in the Cater Factory, Smile, Unitoy, and PBP POC. So a lot of different variants for him. In front of us, we have Unitoy on the left and Cater on the right. Unitoy has brown eyes, Cater has red. You can see differences in the paint on the snout, the paint on the neck piece, the paint on the arms and legs are different shades of brown, the plastic used for the body, different shades of yellow, and the lips, you know, these are barely painted a little bit here where these are really bright red. And these are just two. There's a ton of different variants for Bosk. And some of them can be kind of rare, especially some of the PBP and POC ones. But get you a look at the country of origin stamp there. That's the Cater. So there we go. That's the Cater country of origin stamp and Unitoy. And that's Bosk. And next we have Imperial Stormtrooper Hoth Battle Gear, or as most people just call it, the Hoth Trooper. And a lot of different variants for this one as well. On the left, we have a Unitoy factory for the US market, made in Hong Kong. And on the right, we have a PBP made in Spain for the Spanish market, which is missing his little skirt thing. These have different variants in the type of plastics used. Some of them, the PBP one here is a harder plastic than the one on the left. Also, some of them where the visor is, I have one of my Kenners. There's no gap between the visor there. It's just one piece. These both have a gap between them. And he's another one that has a lot of collectors because there's so many different variants. He's made in Cater, PBP, POC, Smile, and Unitoy all made them. So I'm going to get you a closer look. That's the PBP scar. So the reason it's so choppy like that, and I love that about these, is a really cool looking scar like that. So the mold would have had a raised piece that covered the Hong Kong. And that's what would make the indentation in the figure. These snow troopers here, they have a ton of different types of scars for the COO because the little piece, the little cover that they would put over the Hong Kong would break off and they would replace it. So that country of origin stamp that you see on him, I'll show you again. This one's two chunks taken out. There's some with it's just one chunk. That different, just tons of different variants on that country of origin stamp, or the scar, I should say. So he's another one with a lot of cool variants, and has a big fan base too. And here we have Rebel Soldier in Hoth Battle Gear. He was made by Cater Factory, Unitoy, Smile, Meccano in France, PBP, POC in Spain. So a lot of different variants on him too. These are both Kenner US releases. The one on the left is Smile Factory. The one on the right is Cater. And you can see the differences here. The Cater one with a really pale face, Smile with a more of a flesh color face, different color arms, a little bit of different shade for the paint on the legs here. He comes with different color boots too. This one has a light color brown and a dark brown. That one are both light brown. There's some with a chocolate brown. So he's got a lot of interesting variants too. And let's see if we can get a good shot. Country of origin and date stamp there. And then here's the other one. So I think I said that wrong. This is Cater, and this is the Unitoy. So a lot of different variants for him too. And I had two of these from my childhood. I think one of these is one of them from my childhood. And they were both gifts. I always thought it was kind of a generic character. But it turns out as an adult I like him because he's got a lot of cool variants. So that is the Hoth Rebel Soldier. And here we have Han Solo in Hoth gear. On the left is Cater Factory, on the right is Unitoy Factory. These were also made by the Smile Factory and PBP and POC for Spain. The one on the left, you can see more of a flesh color tone for the face. The one on the right is very pale. The boots, different paint on here. This darker yellow, this is more of a light tan. And you'll see differences in the plastic for the chest too, and the paint on the hands. One of the interesting variants with him is some of them were made with painted legs and some with molded legs. So these are painted. So what's molded is the top part here, the part of his tunic or his coat, and then the leg part, the boots, is painted. But they made some figures where the boot part was molded yellow and then they painted this part blue. And I don't have that variant, but this is a pretty good examples of just some of the differences in the paints and that. And let me show you the country of origin stamp. It's the Cater and the Unitoy. So totally different pants colors there. So that's Han Solo in Hoth gear. And just a quick look at the card back. I'll bring in a little bit. When I was a kid, I remember getting the Star Destroyer one year for Christmas, and I don't have any of it left now, but it was such a cool toy. But there's figures that came out. There's the 11 Empire Strikes Back and the other Star Wars ones. And let's turn this around. This is, well, it's a Yoda card. So that is the card back that these figures premiered on. All right, and that's a wrap on the first wave of figures that came out for the Empire Strikes Back line. Thanks a lot for watching, and please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoy some more of my videos. Thank you.